On this week's episode, we'll be talking all about Village Nature. This fantastic resort is located close to Disneyland Paris, but has a lot more to offer, including a huge water park and a working farm. Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Making the Magic. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Martin.
This week we're talking about one of the lesser-known Disneyland Paris resorts, Village Nature. We really think this is a hidden treasure and perfect for people looking for a longer stay, with just a couple of days in the parks. You've stayed there yourself, haven't you, Martin?
Yes, I've been down there 3 times now and stayed down there once.
And what did you think of it?
I think it's absolutely amazing. You don't realise actually how big it is. Absolutely huge. It's not a hotel. It's a complete experience that is there to be in addition to your trip to Disneyland Paris.
Well, because it's jointly owned by Disney and Centre Parks, isn't it? So if people have been to Centre Parks in the UK or one of the Centre Parks in other parts of Europe, then they'll probably be familiar with the kinds of things that are there.
This one is more of an eco-friendly version, though. So everything's set up to be as close to being one with nature as possible.
And it's relatively new, isn't it? When did it open?
Back in September 2017.
So hopefully everything's still nice and sparkly and new.
You're always going to get a little bit of wear and tear whenever you've got anything with the public, but it does look new. It does look fresh.
It's close to Disney, but it's not walking distance like some of the other on-site hotels, is it?
No, it's about a 15-minute car drive. It's very easy to get to. You're one junction off the motorway and then you're pretty much there. And then to get up to Disney, you go over the motorway. So you take the bridge that goes over the motorway. If you stayed at the Davy Crockett Ranch before, it's next door. So it uses the same motorway junction as that. And it's the same way to get up to the park as well. You can either drive up there. It takes probably 10, 15 minutes, depending if there's any traffic around. But you can take the bus up there. It's €2 per person each way. And it takes about 25 minutes.
And that's really good, isn't it? Because with Davy Crockett, which is the other sort of nature star resort, you've absolutely got to have a car to stay there. There's no shuttle bus or anything, is there?
No, with Davy Crockett, you have to have a car. Even taxis and Ubers won't go there because they're not allowed past the security gates. And then once you're inside, it's quite big. So even if you did get dropped off at the front, you've still probably got a 15, 20-minute walk to actually get to your cabin. Driving's probably the best way of doing either of these because it's going to give you that extra freedom to go off and explore the area. But you can do Village Nature without a car.
And like all Centre Parks, there's that amazing central dome with the water park inside it.
Oh, the Aqua Lagoon is absolutely amazing. It's the second largest indoor-outdoor water park in Europe. It's absolutely brilliant. It's geothermically heated. So it's about 34, 32 degrees temperature all year round. So I've been in the pool in March when it was freezing cold outside and you just saw the steam coming off. So you know that image that you get of the Blue Lagoon in Iceland?
Yeah.
Very similar to that is you were in the water and then you just had this steam rising off. And as long as you were in the water, you're absolutely fine. And there is a connecting bit that takes you back into the indoor pool without you having to get out into the cold. So you can just be in the water whilst you're outside. So I said, and it's open even when it's snowing. And the people I know who work down there, I said it's really magical. It's really beautiful whilst you're in the snow because you just got the snow falling on you. And then you're in this 33, 34 degree heated water. One of the slides ends up outside as well.
So what are the slides like? Are there some big ones or are they all pretty tame?
The sort of top one is one where they've got one similar in Aquatica over in Orlando where you're just standing there, you've got your hands over your body crossed, and then there's a countdown, and then the floor just opens up below you.
That sounds horrific.
Yeah. And the floor just drops away, and then you go down, you speed down, and 10 seconds later, you're at the bottom after sort of swirling round. There's some tamer ones as well, so there's something for everyone. There's ones for little kids. There's this amazing water thing for kids where they can climb up and they can go down slides, and it's like rope bridges and all this kind of stuff. The kids will just spend all day in that. There's some slides which are up sort of towards the roof. So you've got one where you get in like a rubber ring thing and you go down. There's a bit of glass perspex that you go over. Normally you're going along the top and it's fine. You can't really tell that you're up too high. Then suddenly you just get this bit of perspex so you can see right down. You can see how far up you are. So if you're scared of heights, that can be a scary couple of seconds. And then there's ones where you race each other. I think it's 2 or 3 people at a time that you go down and you race, and it times you. It gives you the lights to go down. There's a couple of outdoor slides as well. There's ones where you get in the rings and it's kind of like, like a half pipe. It's a bit like that. So you go down and it's kind of quite fun. And then you get into this half pipe and you're just swishing up and down from side to side until you eventually finish and go out. It is really fun. Even when they've been to the park for the day, the kids just, they've been on Space Mountain, they've been on Big Thunder Mountain, Mickey, but they want to go back to the Aqua Lagoon even in the evening.
Yeah, and it is open in the evening, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends on the time of year. I think in the summer it's open till 10 o'clock at night. It does tire the kids out. There's a rock climbing wall. Obviously, if you fall off, you then fall off into the water. Now, I'm not very good at climbing. My friend did it, and he was really good. He managed to get over. There's a bit that goes over the edge, and he managed to get over the edge and go around to the other side. And I was okay, and then as soon as you actually had to grip onto something properly, I pretty much fell off.
Yeah, I think I might just stick to having a nice sit in one of the jacuzzis.
A lot of places you go in and there's maybe one small jacuzzi, really meant to hold about 4 people, but 8 people sort of try and get it at the same time. These are big jacuzzis, and there's quite a few. I think there's 3 of them. Really cool. The other great thing is that there's lifeguards everywhere, and you can also get those like flotation devices like the vest. So they're really cool because it's one less thing you have to bring with you. And especially if you're going outside, there's a rapids that go round. And if you're a little kid, you can basically throw them in with the vest on and they're not going to sink. And then they can float off and then you can float next to them as well. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, but it is reassuring that they've got so many lifeguards there, and it's something people get concerned about in water parks, isn't it? As much as you're keeping an eye on your kids, it's nice to know that you've got all those lifeguards there as well. And everything in the Aqua Lagoon, that's all included in the cost, isn't it? So there's no additional charge to go in there.
No, all the Aqua Lagoons included. There's only a few times where if you wanted to go really early in the morning, they have a early morning version that you can go into. It's basically sort of adults want to swim without sort of anyone else around. They also do this thing where, because a lot of the slides you can only go feet first, early in the morning before it opens, normally you can pay, I think it's about €12, €13, and you can go in early and they give you crash helmets and special mats to go on, which are raised at the front. And so you can go down face first.
Oh, so an even more extreme way to do them, if that's what you want to.
Yeah. Obviously not the one where the floor drops down. You can't have
No.
But the other ones, you can go down head first.
And as well as the Aqua Lagoon, there are loads of other things to do at Village Nature as well. One of the things I really like the look of is the farm.
Yeah, I had a look around the farm and I was blown away by the size of it and the variety of animals there. So you can do things like workshops. Like at Centre Parks in the UK, you do pay extra for these workshops. So you can do ones on sort of baking bread, and you can do ones on sort of looking after bees and planting. So when you get home, you can look after your plants and that kind of thing. There's ponies and horse riding for the kids as well. They can be a farmer for sort of a half a day. You can do that just the kids or a family activity. It's really great because the kids get to go and see what it's like actually being on a farm. I was shown around the farm by the director of the whole resort, and he was saying to me that when they first opened, they invited some underprivileged kids from Paris to come out and spend the day there. And they would say to the kids, so where does milk come from? And they just go, supermarket. They go, yeah, but where does it come from? And they just went, supermarket. They didn't realize it came from cows.
Oh, gosh.
And then the kids got to see, wow, that's a cow and that's where the milk comes from and that's how you milk it. And they got to milk the cows themselves, everything. And so they got a real education. Not only are they doing something fun and something they're going to remember, but they're also learning some stuff as well at the same time.
Yeah, it sounds like there's so much to do there. You need to be there for a few days to enjoy everything at Village Nature, as well as your time at Disneyland Paris.
Sometimes people come for 3 nights. So if you're arriving reasonably early and you've got a late transport home, then you've got your day you arrive and you've got the day that you leave to explore Village Nature. Now, I don't think that's enough time. I think minimum 4 nights. That gives you a whole day to explore everything there is to do at Village Nature. Now, some people might say, well, it's really only for the summertime or when it's warm. With the Aqua Lagoon, that is mainly indoors, only a little bit for it's outdoors. And there's so much stuff to do inside as well. So next to the farm, they've got this huge indoor play area. And again, it's educational through play. So it actually teaches you things about how farmyard work. And then there's a cafe right next to it. So the parents can sit down, kids can go off, enjoy themselves, make lots of noise, meet lots of new friends. whilst you just sit down and have some ice cream that's made on site. You can have some honey from on site. You can have a nice little coffee as well. Obviously, being in France, the food is very good.
I think it is perfect as well for families with young kids, isn't it? Because I think the time in the theme parks, it can be a bit sensory overload. And then having that time back at Village Nature, other things to do, more familiar things, being able to run outside, it is just a really good combination.
Yes, it gets them out and about. Now, I remember when I was younger, we went to Disney once in 1993. But the only reason we went is because we were going on a camping holiday to France anyway. So we then stayed off-site at Disney and we stayed in a campsite probably 10 kilometers away. That was the only reason my dad would go to Disney, is because one, we could stay off-site in a campsite, and two, it was part of another French holiday. He wouldn't have gone just to Disney. So you will get parents who, they reluctantly want to take their kids to Disney. Maybe one of them wants to go to Disney and the other one doesn't. Now, this is a great halfway house, great way of meeting in the middle, is the kids get to go and have their Disney fix. And if you're a parent who loves Disney as well, you get to have your Disney fix. But also at the same time, you're getting them out in the countryside, in the fresh air. They're running around, they're playing, they're burning off so much energy. And it's a great mix of a holiday as opposed to just going to Disney, getting in, going on Space Mountain 100 times, meeting the characters, doing your favorite really quick. You can really kind of chill out and relax and spread out your whole holiday. A lot of people think that Disneyland Paris is almost like a hit and run kind of holiday. You go in, you get there, a couple of days later, you're back out again, and you come home and you're absolutely knackered. We've booked, and I know lots of people that spend an entire week. They come over, they drive over, they spend the week there, they've got the 2 days in the park, they can maybe explore the area a little bit, but there's so much to do at Village Nature that you can spend a week there.
Yeah, exactly. You can do everything on site there. You've got your 2 full days at Disney. And then if you've got your car with you, you can go out and about and explore the area too, do a bit of shopping, go and see some of the local area, maybe have a day in Paris. And that would be a lovely holiday.
Really fantastic. There's so much to do on site. There's a bowling alley as well. There's a laser tag. There's an indoor climbing wall. There's an escape room as well. Now, I spend a lot of time in Disney Village. That's my local place to go to in the evening. But after eating and drinking, there's not really a huge amount to do. And obviously a bit of shopping as well. But once you've done that, it's back to your room, and maybe the kids get a bit tired, so they go to bed, or they're just watching the Disney Channel. Whereas there's so much that they can do at Village Nature, even into the evening, that it's a full day. And that's another great reason to do it in the winter, when the parks close a bit earlier. Because during the winter, the main park's going to be closing 7, 8 o'clock at night. So you'll be back at Village Nature by 8, 9 o'clock. Now, of course, you need to eat. You've got Vapiano's, which is the Italian, which is also at Disney Village as well. I really like Vapiano's. I don't think you've been to Vapiano's.
No, I haven't been there, no.
I think there's one in Manchester and there's one in London. It's actually a German business.
A German-Italian restaurant?
Yes. So it's German efficiency mixed with Italian food. So all the food is actually made fresh on site. So the pasta's made. You can watch them make the pasta. You watch them make the dough for the pizza in front of you. The difference is with the one in the village, you go up to the station for the pasta or for the pizza, and then you wait for it there. The one at Village Nature is a bit more like if you've been to Nando's or GBK, you go up and order, and then they bring it over to your table.
What other restaurants are there on site there?
There's a really nice bakery down there as well. You can sort of buy sort of sandwiches that they've made or pastries, or if you just want to pick up some bread, you can too. If you're going to France, you need to go and have the bread. Well, I know you're gluten intolerant.
I know, I do make bread.
But I do find a lot of people do say that when they have bread back in the UK, it might give them a little bit of a stomachache. Not full on sort of gluten intolerance, but when they come to France, something about the flour that they use or how they do it, but they don't get the same sort of bloated sensation that they get with English bread.
You can't be a French bakery, can you?
I'm very lucky. I live very close to 2 bakeries, and you do end up going there on quite a regular basis.
Oh, sure.
Really nice wine bar. And as you said, there's a supermarket as well. Now, a lot of the time you think, a supermarket's going to be really expensive. It's going to be overpriced. It's pretty much the same price as going to the Ocean, which is at Val d'Europe, or Casino, which is the one next to me in Manilong. I didn't notice that much of a difference in price. I actually thought it was pretty much the same. That's not to say it's cheap, because supermarkets in France aren't cheap if you're used to shopping in the UK. It is more expensive. So obviously bring your own stuff with you if you can do, but it's about the same price as going to a local supermarket in the area. So don't waste your time. Unless you want to go to Ocean, if you want to go to Val d'Europe, then fine, yeah, go there. But they've got really great stuff. They've got a cheese counter, so you can go up and get your cheese cut up and you have your own portions. You buy a glass bottle for the week, and then you go up and fill up your orange juice, fresh orange juice every day, and it's refillable. So you're not buying glass each day to do it. The same with wine as well. So you can refill up your bottle of wine, and then you're not having to recycle the glass all the time.
So they are taking all the eco stuff pretty seriously then.
Oh, definitely. It's as eco-friendly as you're going to get without being uncomfortable. Sometimes I think people think when it's eco-friendly, it's going to be uncomfortable or they're not going to get a particularly nice experience. But it is a really nice supermarket. If you've ever been to Whole Foods,
yes,
I thought it was very similar to Whole Foods.
Love Whole Foods.
Bar. Oh yeah, I love Whole Foods as well. You know, they've got the rotisserie chickens as well. So you've got that fresh stuff. You can just go and buy like pre-packed, if you want cereal, that kind of stuff. And it's a full-on supermarket. It's bigger than, say, like a Tesco Metro sort of local one, but it's not a full-on supermarket.
But enough if you're staying there for a few days that you can have everything that you need. People who are staying in the other on-site hotels, they might get the meal plan for convenience, but that isn't something you can do at Village Nature, is it?
No, because it's run by Center Parks, the restaurants are all outside. None of them are run by Disney, so they can't give you a meal plan, even for just the days that you go to Disney. So there isn't a meal plan available. But the great thing about Village Nature is you can mix it up. Even if you go and have your 2 days in the park and you go and eat your food there, you obviously sort of pay for those. But if you're doing things like the character dining, you probably prepaid for them anyway. So it's probably already part of your package.
Yeah.
And then when you're staying at Village Nature, you've got the choice of either self-catering, or you can go to one of the restaurants there, or go for a drive. There's so many restaurants within the local area. You go to Val d'Europe, there's probably 20 restaurants just at Val d'Europe. So there's plenty of places to go and eat.
And all the apartments have got their own kitchen facility. So if you do want to, whether it's just doing snacks and breakfast or a full-blown meal, you've got all the facilities in your apartment.
Yes, you've got a full-on kitchen. So you've got your hobs. So the last time I stayed there, we only stayed for one night, and so nice and quick and easy. We had some really nice pasta that they had, so fresh pasta, made a sauce as well. So it was really easy, and then obviously had the bread from the bakery to go with that as well. So all stuff you can't have in Madrid, I'm afraid.
I know, yeah, never mind. And I think what people really like as well is the fact that they've got more space. So if they're staying in a Disney on-site hotel, they're in a hotel room, 2 queen beds. Yeah, great if you're just out in the parks all day, or if you've got older kids. But if you've got little children who you want to go to bed earlier, and then you don't necessarily want to go to bed at the same time as them, these are proper apartments with separate bedrooms.
You walk in January, you walk into the kitchen living room, which then goes out onto the balcony or onto the terrace, depending on which floor you're on. So if you're staying in the smallest one, bedroom's off to the side, the main bedroom, and then you've got the front room, which has got a sofa bed in it. You might think, well, the kids have gone to bed really early. You've got little ones, maybe let them sleep in there, but you can always pick them up and move them to the sofa.
Yeah, that's what we used to do when my kids were small. Put them to sleep in the bed, and then when you're ready to bed, just carefully carry them over to the sofa.
A lot of people think that they have to get the 2-bedroom if they're going with little kids. If you've got the 2-bedroom, you've got your main master bed, king-size bed in there, and then the second bedroom is 2 single beds. So they're big enough to fit adults into, but a lot of the time it's always kids that usually end up staying there. So if you've got slightly older kids that might stay up later, then that's great, because you don't really want to be picking up an 8-year-old.
No.
After you've been walking around the park all day and then putting him onto the sofa bed. So that's fine. If you've got little kids, I'd say probably not necessarily worth getting the 2-bedroom. Just stick with
unless you're there for a bit longer. You know, if you're going for the whole week, it's nice to have the extra space, isn't it? If they want to have a little sleep in the daytime and things. But yeah, I mean, it just depends. But at least you've got the option of having more space so that you can have the 1-bedroom or the 2 bedrooms. And then they also they call them the VIP apartments. So what's the difference between those and the others?
They're nicer.
Okay.
The one is the location, so you tend to be a bit closer to the Aqua Lagoon and to the main strip where sort of the restaurants are and the supermarket. In the show notes, we'll put the links to the videos that I did walking around, so you can have a look for yourself. But the bar, for example, in the VIP one is huge. It's a jacuzzi bath. So it's got the jets inside it. And then it overlooks out over the window. You can make it so you can't look out if you don't want to, but you can open the window and you can be overlooking, sat in the bath, and you can fit 2 people in there quite easily. Really nice way just to sort of chill out and relax after you've been horse riding for the day or been in the park. You can just do that. They are slightly bigger apartments, but it is mainly the location. The bath as well is sort of better.
Yeah, so again, if you're going for a longer period, you might think about upgrading just so that you've got that nicer apartment to stay in and a bit closer to everything too. I think people might find it surprising because even though we're saying it's got all these sort of extra things that you can do and you've got the bigger apartment rather than just a hotel room, it's actually a really good value for money option, isn't it?
Especially for a bigger family. If you're a family of 5, you're quite limited to where you can stay at Disney in a Disney hotel itself. Very limited to there's a handful of rooms at Santa Fe, Newport Bay Club. You've got the ranch, obviously you have to drive to that. And then you've got a few rooms at Disneyland Hotel as well. And they tend to sell out really quickly. So if you have a family of 5, which I'm from a family of 5, then this is perfect for you. Even sort of a family of 3, even for a couple as well, it's still fantastic value for money to go there. For what you're getting included, I'd say it's great value for money.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that brings the price down is the fact that you've only got the 2-day Disney park tickets included, whereas if you were going for a 3-night stay in a Disney hotel, you're going to have 4 days of tickets included. But I think people need to think, well, how much time do I want in the parks and how much time do I need? I mean, 2 days. I mean, I'd always say longer if you can, but I mean, 2 days is enough to do both of the parks, certainly the highlights, isn't it?
And if you've been before, it's a great way, especially if you're going sort of in a quieter time of the year when actually, you can be able to walk onto the rides or there's going to be shorter queues for the main things. Then you're actually going to be able to do rides quite quickly and not have to worry about queuing up as much.
I mean, I was looking at the prices for February half term 2022 because, I mean, we have got the rates right through to March 22, which seems a long way away, but I'm sure it'll fly by. And for a family 4, less than £1,000, including your 2-day Disney tickets. Okay, that doesn't include actually getting to Paris. So if you're going to self-drive, you need to pay for your ferry or, flights if you want to fly. But I mean, less than £1,000, including 2 days at Disney. I think that's an amazing price.
When you work it out compared to how much the gate prices are for a 2-day ticket into Disney, it's fantastic value for money. And then you've got your accommodation, and then you've got your access to the Aqua Lagoon. Just for the Aqua Lagoon alone, it's worth staying at Village Nature.
You can buy, certainly sometimes you can buy just the day passes to go into Village Nature, can't you? I know they do limit it depending on, the occupancy in there. And I think it's about €50 just for a day ticket in there.
Yes, up to €50 for the day. It is a bit cheaper certain times of the year. It can go down to €35 for the day, but that's sort of quiet season, middle of the week when there's no one there. But you are looking at about €50 for an adult. So if you wanted to pop down there in your family of 4, you're looking at a good sort of 170 odd euro just for one day, whereas actually make it part of your trip. What some people do is incorporate it with a trip to Paris. You can get to Paris quite easily from Village Nature. You just take the bus, takes you up to Disney in 25 minutes, and from there it's a 45-minute RER ride in to Paris. So it's really easy to go and explore as well. And I think that's sometimes a lot of people, when they're staying at Disney, they go, don't really want to go into Paris because we've got unlimited tickets, so we don't want to be wasting a day that we've afford to get into the park. Whereas staying at Village Nature, because you've only got those 2 days, you will go off and explore the area more.
So if people do have the 2-day park tickets included, can they choose which day they go to the parks, or is it got to be the first 2 days of their stay or something?
No, you can go on any day. You don't have to register. You don't have to do anything. You just turn up. You get your magic passes. So the way Village Nature works is it's a big site. So you arrive at the front. There's a car park for day visitors, and you arrive at the front and then you go and check in there. And that's where you're going to get your wristbands that open your apartment and also get you into things like the Aqua Lagoon. So you wear your wristband and you tap in. So it's really kind of cool. You don't have to carry keys or anything silly like that. Then when you've checked in, you can go to the welcome desk, and that's where you pick up your Disney tickets as well. Once you've checked in, go and pick up your welcome ticket. You don't have to tell them what day you're going to the park. You pick them up. If you're driving, because it's a magic pass and it shows you're staying at Village Nature, you used to get to park for free in the main car park at Disney, which is going to save you €30 a day.
So no parking charges when you're actually going into the parks. That's really good.
No, I mean, that's another thing is a lot of people will go, well, we'll stay off site to save a bit of money. But you go, well, yeah, but then it's €30 to park. each day. So that's going to sort of start to add up as well. So if you're booking it as part of a package that includes Disney tickets, then you get your parking for free as well. Now, you can park for free any day. They don't know what day you're going into the park. So if you wanted to park there and then go take the RER into Paris, you can do.
Okay, or if you just wanted to go up to Disney Village to do some shopping or eat in a restaurant there, so that you can park for free for that as well.
Yeah, a lot of people will go and do their shopping on a day that they're not actually in the park. They'll just pop up one day, go and get a bite to eat, walk around, go and do World of Disney and all the other stores as well. Probably do it when the park's sort of open as well, so you're not faced with hordes of crowds that you get when the parks are closed.
Yeah, everybody has the same idea to go to Disney Village as the parks close and do their shopping then, but that's when it's at the busiest, isn't it? And do people get early access to the parks as well, like with the other hotels?
Yep, so it's classed as a Disney hotel, even though it's technically a partner hotel. So you still get your extra magic hours, so you can still go in the park at 8:30, along with all the guests that are staying in the other Disney hotels.
Well, that all sounds great. So with all the activities that you can do at Village Nature, I know with Centre Parks, you have to book a lot of those a long way in advance. Is that the same there?
For the most popular things, then yes, it's always like anything. There's only going to be limited space. So book those in advance. Now, they do have their own app that you can use. So you download the app and then you put in your booking details, and then you can then make reservations. So if you said that you wanted to do that activity where you go head first down the slides, you can book that in all on the app. So, and it will tell you the time. So there's lots of free events as well. So in the summer, they do a lot of free things, kids activities that they do. So you can find out what time these things are on. There's a volleyball competitions that go on the man-made beach down there as well. So you can find out what time those are on. So it means you can really sort of plan what you're going to be doing before you get there. So you're not waking up thinking, oh, what is there to do today? It does go up on the TVs in the apartments are interactive. So again, you can go through the TV and see what's available to do that day. But it's kind of quite nice, especially if you like to plan things in advance. Then you can think, oh, okay, yeah, on Tuesday, we're going to go and do the volleyball competition, and then we're going to put the little ones are going to go and do a horse riding, and then we're going to go and have some dinner somewhere.
Sounds good. Back to the apartments. So the apartments that we sell through Disney that include the 2-day tickets. So we've got the premium apartments, the one bed. So they've got the the lounge dining area with the kitchen and the separate bedroom.
Yep.
They sleep up to 4 people. And then also we've got the 2-bedroom version of that. And like you said, you've got the master bedroom and then the one with the 2 single beds as well. So, and they sleep up to 6 people. So if you, like you were saying before, if you've got a larger family, then that's perfect.
Yeah, when I used to go to places that were sort of similar layouts, I would always end up being on the sofa bed.
Yeah.
So a lot of sofa beds in my time, and we've rolled out the sofa bed to test it out. It's really comfortable. I always kind of think the sofa beds are going to be a bit lumpy, but they're really, really comfortable.
And then we've got the VIP apartment as well. So that's got the 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, so it's the same. It's got the 2 bedrooms. So you've got the master bedroom and the separate bedroom that's got the 2 single beds. And then you've also got the sofa bed as well, closer to where all the action is. And it's nicer decor. And it's sort of, as I said, you've got that really nice, cool bath.
And it includes everything, doesn't it? So that people haven't got to think about bringing bedding or stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much everything's included in the prices. It's not a hotel. So there's not chambermaids and there's not housekeeping that's going to come around every day and change your bedding and things like that. It is self-catering. So it's like being at home. So if you do want to do, washing, or you want to change the towels or something like that, you wash them yourself. You are a bit more independent. And
there's no air conditioning, is there? Because it is an eco-resort. They don't have the air con.
That's right. Air conditioning uses a lot of electricity and it's not great for the planet. So they made a decision not to have air conditioning. Now, they do have fans that you can get from reception for free. So if it is hot, you can ask for some fans to put into your apartment. They do have a few air conditioning units, little portable ones that they can put into rooms with babies. Because obviously, if it's, France can get hot, if it's sort of 36 degrees outside and you've got a little baby, you need to keep that room cool. And a fan won't necessarily cut it. So they do have some for babies and for people who are really affected by the heat.
But I think it's just one thing to bear in mind, isn't it? If you really don't deal with the heat well, then perhaps going right in the summer because they don't have the aircon isn't the best choice. It would all the hotels, the other on-site hotels do have the aircon, don't they? So what are your top tips for staying at Village Nature?
I'd say the first one is to make sure you book enough nights that you're actually going to be able to enjoy all the facilities without sort of rushing. So 3 nights is the bare minimum that you need to be staying there. I'd say 4 would be my recommended minimum, but if you're going to be making it a full holiday, then why not go for a week the same as you would do if you were going to a similar kind of place in Spain, or if you're going to an all-inclusive resort. It's a great way of getting your Disney fix and then having this amazing experience out in the countryside in this eco-friendly resort as well. Next one, I'd say it's just as easy to fly, drive, or take the Eurostar to get there. It is probably better to drive because then you can bring sort of food with you and you can bring sort of the extra kind of things that the kids might want to have. Plus also you've got that extra room for bringing all those big soft toys home from Disney.
Yes, all your shopping.
Yeah, my friend, when he came over, he has a massive, it's more like a minivan. So they chucked everything in the back. They had bikes, had everything. So you can hire bikes there. It's a huge place that you can go and hire bikes from. But if your car is big enough, or you've got a roof rack, or you're kind of someone that takes the bikes out into the forest anyway, and you're driving over, then bring them across. It's a great way of getting around the resort. So I'd say driving is probably the best way of getting there, but you can fly over. We have lots of guests that fly over, and we have lots of guests that take the Eurostar over as well. Next one I'd say is just because it is self-catering, don't think that you're going to be cooking every single night. There are plenty of restaurants. You've got the restaurants at Disney and you've got the restaurants in the local area you can get to as well. So even if you're not driving, you can still take the bus. It takes you right up to Val d'Europe. It's the stop before you get to Disney, and it actually stops in Place de Toscane, which is where all the restaurants are. So you don't have to walk all the way through the Val d'Europe shopping centre. Drops you off right next to all the restaurants. So there's probably 20, maybe even 25 restaurants in that local area to go and explore. So there's something for every taste. And they do tend to be a little bit cheaper than going to Disney as well.
Excellent. Well, really hope that you enjoyed hearing about Village Nature and how you can have a really different sort of Disney holiday, combining with all the facilities that there are there. We'll put lots more details in the show notes, including some of the video that Martin took when he visited there recently. So Martin stayed there a couple of times. He's also visited. So any questions at all, then please do just get in touch.
Thank you very much for listening. I hope you found that very interesting and useful as well. If you'd like to get in touch with us about your trip to Village Nature, then please visit fairytaleholidays.co.uk, or you can just contact us via the show notes. All the links are in there as well. Hit the subscribe button now to make sure you don't miss out on any of our weekly podcasts. Thank you very much for listening and have a magical day.